Greetings and good evening, Greetings, good evening, Upper Midwest. Greetings, good evening, Minneapolis and St. Paul. This is the MeatSauce and Monty Show. It promises to be either a historically good or biblically bad evening tonight, as we have the first ever MeatSauce and Monty debate to see who should be the president of the MeatSauce and Monty Show. The decision will be made tonight. Welcome to the MeatSauce and Monty Show. It begins now.
So far, so good.
I like it.
Wrong.
I like it very much.
Wrong.
I am the moderator, the common man, Dan Cole of KFAN Radio. To my right, MeatSauce. To my left, and you're looking lovely.
Thank you very much.
Wrong.
It's more of a dress than a pantsuit, though. But
well, the skirt
Yeah, it's
is the only thing that I could find. My legs are. There we go.
You're a nasty woman.
wondering if this was the best career decision I've ever made, hosting this tonight, but I guess I'm here and there's nothing we can do with it. The cameras are rolling. We need to find out who should be the president of MeatSauce and Monty. So I've put together, somebody's put together a list of questions for me that I really haven't had much of a chance to. Give me a wrong.
Wrong.
Thank you. A list of questions that I haven't had much of a chance to peruse, but let's go ahead. First of all, ladies.
Oh,
ladies first.
If you choose, that's fine.
Why should
That's not a woman.
it's a nasty
More woman than you.
Well, why should Monty be the president of the show?
That's a very good question. Thank you. I want to thank the CW for having this debate tonight, inviting us here. Why should I be president of the show? You know, don't let this masculine exterior fool you. When I'm not here with MeatSauce, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and working with those 3 kids has really taught me how to deal with people like MeatSauce. I have a 3-year-old at home, and that gives me plenty of practice. That's why I should be the president of the show.
Wrong.
I think that's why.
Do your children call you mom or dad? That's what I'm curious
mostly
to know.
dad.
Okay, mostly dad.
Only when I wear that.
Why should you be?
I should be.
Your time is up? No, go ahead.
I should be president of the show because I am the best looking one up here. I
Wrong.
look like a overweight Oompa Loompa, and I'm excited to be here to tell this nasty woman that she's wrong and not right for whatever we're doing here tonight.
MeatSauce, who
Yeah.
would be your running mate?
My running mate would probably be Common Man Dan Cole,
Yeah, okay.
because I like you, and you're good at what you do, and you look better next to me because I look like hell.
Not sure if I'll take you up on the offer, but
Okay.
I certainly will consider it. Running mate, who would it be?
My running mate would have to be Todd.
Wrong, there is no Todd.
Number one, to prove that he exists, and because he's the one that's opened the door and allowed this to happen at the CW for us to go out on a limb and to do a show like this. It's all Todd's. And I'd like to prove for
You're
once
a
and for
Todd.
all that Todd, the real Todd.
Now let her finish. Let her finish. Quit interrupting.
He's crooked. Nasty woman.
Is he eating into my time?
Wrong.
What would you say to someone who told you the MeatSauce and Monty show is the best local sports TV show?
You know what? That's a very good question, Mr. Cole. That's a very good question. The first thing I would say is, Mom, thanks for watching. The second thing would be, I think we're the best because we're the only one that is fully independent. We don't belong to any station.
What?
We are free to do whatever we want, just like this. Put on the wig, put on the dress. We're free to do this.
Is that because there's no station that would have you? I mean, sorry about that.
That might have happened, but we're here now.
Same question I posed to
Yeah.
you. What if someone said, man, I really think this show is really the cat's meow?
I would ask, why are you comparing us to a cat? And 2, I think this show is great because I can dress like this and I can do this and I like doing this. Kind of like I'm getting exercise. I don't know. This show is good because of exactly what we're doing. You'd never see the guy on, Mark Rosen. You never see him doing this.
Yeah.
Wrong.
See, look at that. You took a shot. I
Yeah,
like that.
Wrong. He's a nasty woman.
Has anybody ever approached you and said this is the best local sports show?
No.
See, I thought for sure I'd get a yes out of it.
My dad, but
Okay, we're getting off the track here.
sorry,
Let's-
sorry.
let's
Right.
let's stay focused
can we talk about
here.
taxes?
Well,
Sure,
no,
we can talk
what
about
we're going to
taxes.
do, because the MeatSauce and Monty show, generally speaking, is focused on sports. I had a couple of sports questions
all
for
right.
you. What do you think about the Vikings season to this point?
I think they're great, just like we can make America great again.
Oh.
But
so
how
much
about
fun.
that loss to the Eagles?
Yeah, that was awful. I'd blame it on that nasty one.
No. See, I oppose you on that. I think that this season is fantastic. I think they're going to be right back on track. I think that loss to the Eagles was a rarity, and I think the fact that the Eagles knew Bradford's weaknesses is the only thing that really played against us. And I think that being 5-0, we're still atop the NFC. I think there's nothing to worry about after that first loss.
That's a horrible answer.
That's the best answer.
Oh, that's an awful answer. Wrong.
Tomorrow night, it's the Vikings traveling to Chicago to face the Bears. Your thoughts?
I think the Bears will roll over like the woman
Hey.
to my left.
Hey!
The Bears,
that supposed
the
to
Bears will
mean?
be on their back a lot.
Hey!
The Bears will
Family
lose.
show.
They'll lose. The Bears will lose. The Vikings will blow the Bears out by 14 points.
Bears Vikings.
I think the Vikings win. I think a little stat in the last 17 seasons, Vikings have not done well at Soldier Field. They're 3-14. They're going for their 4th win in a row against Chicago. I think it's going to happen. I think they're a mess with Jay Cutler coming back
I
off
think
the
you're a
bench.
mess.
See, if you want to talk about the wig, that's fine. But me, now you're getting personal. But no, I do think that the Vikings are going to win. 14 points. That might be a little much. I'd say in the 10-point range. But I do think that the Vikings are going to win.
Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
lead, huge.
Huge.
Slaughtered or slandered?
About what?
Fat cat slaughtered.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people kept asking about that. I would have just, what I normally would do is just not even answer the question, just dictate to other things. You know, like I'm not going to answer questions about anything that I've said in my past.
So you would start
ignore
tap
it.
dancing. In
Yeah,
other words,
just
why don't you
ignore
give
it.
us a little soft shoe? Not bad at all.
Yeah, you can hear it. Clack, clack, clack.
Nice. I don't think he had anything to do with it. I think he came out really hard and was trying to sell to the press to rewrite the story and say he had absolutely nothing to do with it. I think the fact that it remained a story and was grabbing headlines for so many days was more something that was created by the media. You know, you can never trust the media. They rig everything.
Right.
See, I said it for you. I'm sorry. I should have lobbed that up.
Actually agree
But
with her, yeah.
I really think it was interesting that was a story for so long, because if it was just stuffed animals and it was something, you know, is there really groups that try to stand up for the rights of stuffed animals?
There probably is, and you'd support it
If there were.
was.
See, if there were, you would know about it. I was going to try to go that way.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I wouldn't
See-
know anything about that. I just think it's weird that he has to answer that question.
Okay, last question. Last question for this segment. Worst sports fans.
Worst sports
The
fans.
worst fans. Who are the worst sports
Easy.
fans?
Now, so I get first crack at this
Go
one.
ahead.
I was going to say Green Bay Packers fans. Yeah. But I'm going to be even more specific. I think Green Bay Packer fans who are from Minnesota and jumped off the Vikings bandwagon just to get on
Wrong.
the Packers
It's Cubs
bandwagon.
fans. It's Cubs fans. It's not even close. It's Cubs fans.
And for what reason?
I just don't like them. I don't need a reason. I don't need a reason.
Well, you must have some reason to explain to the viewing
They're
public why.
bandwagon. Cubs fans are bandwagon.
All of them?
All of them.
The majority?
The huge majority of them.
Okay, your time is up. Your time is up.
All right.
The debate has been completed. You'll have to make the decision whether this has been historically good or biblically bad.
Social media, go on Twitter, the MeatSauce and Monty Show. We're going to put that up there tonight. I think we're going to have 24 hours to vote of who won the debate and who's
You
the
lost. I won.
I'd probably agree with that.
And I am not a crook.
All right, let's take our first time out.
Let's do that. We'll be right back with more of the MeatSauce and Monty Show.
Yay! Live studio audience, the applause is kind of throwing us off, I think.
You talk about courage.
yeah.
That's courageous to dress like that on
thank you
television.
very much.
That's
Yeah,
courageous.
just in general.
Courageous one.
Yeah, you are. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud
I'm
of
done
you,
being mean to you.
Thanks. We'll be nice for the rest of the show. Just like the candidates we're representing. You can do that when you're meat sauce. That's great. All right, so now we're actually going to do our regular job. We're going to talk a little bit of sports here. So we tried to, in character, talk a little bit about the Vikings. But looking back, because obviously they're off tonight, last week, was that an anomaly? Just the fact that Philadelphia knew Bradford and had all the backing knowing where he was weak and how to attack him?
I don't think it had anything to do with them knowing Bradford. I thought it was just that the Vikings offensive line just didn't protect him very well. He gets a little skittish. He's not the most mobile I mean, he's not as slick moving in and out of the pocket, it didn't appear to me. And I think maybe some receivers were covered. I think he didn't get rid of the ball enough. I don't know how much it had to do with the Eagles knowing Bradford. I think just Schwartz had a pretty good game plan. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, and I think the Vikings, they don't have much of a running game, so it wasn't too hard to figure out what they can and cannot do.
Yeah, I think it was just an anomaly. I think that the Vikings, they knew what to do, but after that, I think the Vikings they have a plan moving forward. If the offensive line would have held up, they might have won. They had plenty of opportunity to win. They didn't, but I think they'll tomorrow night get back on track. I think it was just kind of just a bad run for them last Sunday.
What if they get beat? What are you going to do?
It'll be bad. It'll be bad, but they're 2 games up on the Packers, 3 games up on the Packers because they lost again. So, but and your Lions lost again.
Well, and Cutler again. I'm not saying he's forgotten how to be quarterback, but he's been out a few weeks.
He's bad.
Yeah, and he's not.
He'll lose them the game tomorrow. He's not.
Well, do you remember when was it a couple of years ago when he told his teammates, he goes, "We're going to win because they're the Vikings. That's what they do," or something of that nature, and they did win.
The
Bears did win that game.
I think the Vikings will win them. I think at this point it's the midpoint of the season. I think the Bears have kind of cashed it in. A lot of them are in tub club, waiting to get ready and go on vacation.
Cutler is he's got nothing to lose, so he could be absolutely wild tomorrow. And he could be throwing so he could throw 4 or 5 interceptions, or he could have one of those monster games where he's just throwing the ball all around the field. It all depends on our defense.
He actually might even still be hurt. I mean, there's a decent chance. I mean, some of the people came out and said that he may be coming back too early.
Well, because they have to play him.
They have to play him. Because if they play Matt Barkley, they shouldn't even fly out to Chicago tomorrow. Would it be a waste of time? But if they get Cutler nicked up and they have to go to Matt Barkley, the Vikings should win handily.
Barkley's hideous.
He's hideous. Not as hideous as I am. And I feel like my grandma for some reason with all this.
You look awful now.
I do.
When you were doing the debate thing, you looked great. Now just when you're back and you're regular who you are, you look just awful.
All right,
you look like you haven't gotten sleep in a long time.
It's almost close to Beetlejuice, like the eyes and the mouth.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like it's a cross between Trump and Beetlejuice.
Who convinced you to do that?
Matt and Todd.
The Todd. All right,
counting down the seconds to get this off.
We're unanimous. Vikings win tomorrow.
There's no doubt. I never said. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, unless the Bears' defense does, if they're able to do what Philadelphia did, then the line's not going to magically get better overnight. I don't think. I don't think suddenly.
Unless they trade for Joe Thomas.
Right, and I don't think they will. So I think there's a possibility they could have some trouble, but. I don't know if my guess is they'll try to move things around. They'll try some
bubble screens.
They've got tricks up their sleeve, I'm sure. I would still think they'll win, but I don't know. I wouldn't guarantee anything at this point.
All right, let's move on. Still staying with football. We'll talk about the Gophers. 6-2, 3-2 in the Big Ten. Their win 40-17 over Illinois. They got 17 points off turnovers. How would you rate their performance? Is Illinois a really bad team, or did the Gophers finally put a decent win together?
Well, you could say it's a decent win, but Illinois is an awful team. Their quarterback, Jeff George Jr., father, like son. I mean,
wasn't he their third stringer?
He. I mean, 2 of the Gopher touchdowns. And, they don't have to apologize for taking a turnover and immediately the next play turning it into touchdowns. Yeah, they had 2 one-play drives, but and so better to win that game. So I mean, that should make fans forget about that. The Rutgers was a win, but it almost felt like a loss. So I mean, they're bowl eligible now, and I think most even hardcore Gopher fans who have been waiting for something special for a long time are getting a bit bored at the bowl eligible stuff. So I guess they still have a chance to win the West, but they'll have to run the table, and I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can beat Nebraska or Wisconsin.
You're getting too far down the road to think if they could win the West. I think we're lucky if we win against Purdue. Well, not necessarily Purdue. We'll beat Purdue, but after that, I don't think there's another win on the schedule.
Yeah, I don't know. Purdue's horrible. Purdue got killed yesterday. The Gophers are just a mediocre football team. That's it.
Do you think it means anything?
A bad Illinois team yesterday. It doesn't matter.
Like Common was saying, the bowl eligibility, is that something to be excited about? I think
because every team goes. It used to mean something. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's like when back in high school and teachers graded on a curve. If you got a D, but you got an A because of it doesn't matter. Everybody's getting good grades.
If you go to one of the big bowl games, that means something.
Right,
if you go to one of the big
but
four.
If you're going to the citrus salsa bowl.
I kind of like the citrus salsa bowl.
I'd eat that.
I like that bowl game.
Yeah,
The citrus salsa bowl.
I would eat that. I'd hang out. I'd party at that.
You'd go there. This is the 5th straight year that they've been bowl eligible. I think that ties a school record. Even though we're talking about the bowl games being pretty meaningless, tying a school record, does that mean something?
For the school and for the alumni and for the people that play, yes. I think for the discerning fan, no. I don't think
Yeah,
it
I don't
doesn't
think it
make any
means
difference.
anything. No, it doesn't. I mean, good for the kids. They get a lot of cool things. It's an opportunity to go somewhere. It doesn't really.
Your first 3-4 games, they're starting to change as I get it the next few years. They're trying to
Right.
weed out those really weak opponents early.
Yeah.
But you need 6
Ohio
wins to be bowl eligible, and you play 3 or 4
Right.
gimmies at the beginning
So
of the
you
year.
just
You're going
need
for
2
only
more.
2 more
Yeah.
wins. I mean, it's
And in
not
a
that
bad
great
Big
of an
Ten,
accomplishment.
yeah, it's easy to.
It's
do.
not that great of an
No,
accomplishment. It's
no.
just not.
All right. Do you think that the Gophers, do you think people are more disappointed because they're almost not as advertised? Everybody was saying that it was going to be Mitch Leidner's team, and right now it's the running backs with Rodney Smith and Shannon Brooks. It's their team, and Leidner's kind of just faded away.
I don't know. I can't get a real feel for what Gopher fans are thinking. I think more than anything, I think Gopher fans are, the wind is out of their sails a bit. I think they really felt they were moving in the right direction under Kill. And and then when Jerry had to announce his retirement because of the health issues, Clays came in. Not that Clays isn't a good coach, but it really wasn't Clays' program, even though he'd been with Kill for, a couple of decades. So I think once that happened, and then it just doesn't seem to have gone anywhere. It's not like they're taking another step. It seemed they were taking half steps with Kill. So I don't know what Gopher fans think about if it's Leidner's team, if it's a running backs team. I think they were just expecting, but this was the year, I think they were expecting the team to take a major step and be certainly a Big Ten power and maybe even be able to talk about being a top 25 kind of club.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters because I think they move on from Clays at the end of the year. I think the people are getting restless. They want a good football team.
You think Clays is out?
Yeah.
That's been MeatSauce's
Yeah,
take for about
of
the last
course.
3 weeks.
What if they were able to win against Wisconsin?
Well, that might save him, but if he lost, as you just said, that Rutgers game felt like a loss. If they find a way to lose that game, I think he's fired on the spot.
Wow.
You can't lose to a Rutgers
Right.
team. They're an
2-point
18.5
win
point
at
favorite.
home. Right.
You can't do that. Then they beat a bad, whoever they played, Illinois team. If Purdue's bad, that'll be, who knows what they'll do
If
in
they
that.
lose to Purdue,
Right.
if they lose the last
Yeah,
4 games of the year,
they'll
you
go
can
to
do that.
some bowl game nobody cares about. And
Let's just say the Rutgers game would have been on the road.
Yeah.
Had they lost it and they fired him, would they let him fly back anyways, or
know.
would he
They
have to
leave him
find
there.
his own way back?
Hitchhike.
I think they'd leave him there.
Wow.
If they'd leave him with a good sum of money, I'd probably hang out at a Holiday Inn for a couple of days and get real drunk.
Nice.
Why not?
Nice.
Do
All right.
some drinks and
Hell yeah.
Real quick, we got Wolves and Wild to get to. So the Timberwolves 0-2. Is there any reason to be concerned? Obviously, 2 games isn't that big of a deal, but the way they've lost them. 17-point lead in the opener, 18-point lead late last night. They choke them both away.
Oh, you mean
Timberwolves.
you mean the Thibodeau and 1, Thibodeau and 2 Wolves?
Nice. See,
That's
Wolf,
pretty good.
That
Sweet.
Wolves club. Well, that's the thing. Nothing has really changed at all. This is the exact same thing
Yeah.
we've seen. Doesn't mean. I mean, they are young. I mean, I'm not one to generally let's hand them a nice little excuse, write it on a piece of paper and give it to them. But
Right.
they are young. They got 2 kids that are 21 and one still just about to be 21. So they have a lot to learn. They're not a very physical team.
No.
I mean, I watched the game against Sacramento and when Dang
stayed
got
up past 11?
yeah. When Dang got in foul trouble, they brought Aldrich in, and Cole's a nice kid and has some talent, but he looked like
he
he
gets
can't
run
match up
over.
against Cousins.
No.
He got right. He was looking like he was running through
Yeah.
quicksand. It was just it got ugly. I mean, and if it gets physical, I think they're going to have trouble. I really do.
Once Carl gets going, they'll be fine. And Carl's yet to kind of get going. Once he gets going, they'll be fine.
All right, we're going to cut the Wild. We'll talk about that next week. It's time for us to get to the dumpster fire. You might be wondering what that is. Normally we have our drinking
controversial.
game. It is very controversial. MeatSauce and I, we're in costume. We're also going to do something we've
are?
never done before after this break.
I think you're on drugs.
Lucky.
Well, do I look at with this? You got to be wondering what this is.
That's for the contest. Put that back. What are you doing?
I'm hungry.
Seeing as how we've got Common here, he's going to be doing the questions and not me and Sauce and our beverages. Instead, we've got this amazing machine that we just saw.
Excuse me.
And we're
you
it's going to
all
be
right?
basically an eating contest where we're stuffing our faces. So you go ahead and take the floor
Oh,
here.
okay.
and
So it's called the dumpster fire game. We'll ask a question. You're green, you're yellow,
there's arrows on the front.
and you know how it works. If you answer in how does it work now? You have to explain it to me.
If you're wrong, you got to stuff a
Yeah,
marshmallow
okay.
in your mouth. If you're right, the other person has to stuff it in their mouth.
What?
Don't eat it. We
They're
have to
good.
try to say the word dumpster fire with the marshmallows in our mouth.
In your mouth.
See, we're going where nobody has gone before. It's a food eating contest without eating. Just stuff your face.
This is where it's going to either be historically good or biblically bad television.
We're going to
This is where
stuff
it
a
is
bunch
right
of
here.
things in our mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expect the screen grabs on Twitter by about 10:01 tonight.
Here we go. Question number 1, dumpster fire game. According to the current Vikings.com website poll, fans voted this defensive player as the best player on the team so far in 2016. Sauce.
Harrison Smith.
Incorrect.
I'm going to abstain from guessing.
You have to guess.
I don't want to have to stuff a
Now,
marshmallow.
does he just keep it in his mouth?
Sure, just keep it in your mouth. See, look at that. That's a great look.
Can you say dumpster fire?
Dumpster fire. It's like being at the.
Now, does he have to keep that in his mouth the entire time?
Brian Robinson.
Incorrect.
All right.
I
I was going to say Greenway, but there we go.
I'm so sorry. The
These
the
are
correct answer would
oversized,
be,
by the way. Thanks, Todd.
who is Everson Griffin?
Who is Everson Griffin?
Question number 2. What country was Donald Trump's current and third wife born in?
Finland.
You're finished.
I'm gonna Croatia.
Incorrect.
Man, this is great, Todd. We're doing great.
Slovenia. Slovenia would be the correct
Say
answer.
dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
All right, dumpster fire.
Question number 3. It's been 25 years since the common man slapped the back of Big Black Jack Morris at the game set.
Oh, I suppose we can't finish the question. 1991 World Series.
Yeah, no, incorrect.
Wrong.
Man.
Who was the Twins' starting shortstop in that World Series?
Right. Can I re-ring in, or am I out?
No, you're done.
Greg Gagne.
You're correct. Yeah. No, she has to put 2 in his mouth, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Because you answered it wrong. This is really. I can't watch this. I can't watch.
I think I'm done.
You are a nasty woman.
This is terrible.
This is not going on my resume, by the way. Okay. Going into tomorrow's Monday night game, the Vikings and Bears have played to a 57, 51-2 record. Since the year 2000, who has the better record?
The Bears.
That is correct.
I'm just way too far behind. I'm not going to do this anymore.
No, you have to.
Dumpster fire.
It's your idea.
Wonderful.
Our next. Our next question is a word I can't pronounce. Coulrophobia. C-O-U-L-R-O. Phobia is the fear of what?
Marshmallows.
I was going to say flopping on local television. It's not.
I'm just going to abstain so I don't have to put another one in my mouth. I know. Say don't. See? This is impossible.
You're drooling.
Go ahead, give us. We're going to say we need a spit
Clowns.
bucket.
And you both fit the description.
Get the spit bucket ready. This is going to be.
Name the Gopher football player who's the team's only Heisman Trophy winner. I think you knew the answer to this. What's sad.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to sit out this one. Is it Bruce Smith?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah! Those banners.
Are you going to need help putting those in your mouth? Do we
We
need
got a
someone?
minute and a half left if you can survive. Minute and a half left, Robin.
Hillary Clinton had a birthday last week. How old is she?
69.
Yes, correct.
Oh! Asked that question a couple weeks ago. Thanks, Todd. Just try to say dumpster fire, spit, and then do it.
Oh! Dumpster fire.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay, last question. In the year 2000, this was the Minnesota Wild's first ever draft pick. Who was he?
Marion Gabrielle.
What country was he from, and was he related to Donald Trump's third
Slovakia.
wife?
Finland.
Slovenia.
I don't know what country.
Oh, you
he's
don't
from.
know?
No,
Oh,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
threw that in just for the fun of it.
Do we have any more, or is that it?
Well, we have another one, but I think we've gone about far enough
Get one
on
in,
this.
one in, get one in. Go quick. 30 seconds, we got 30.
What am I?
The common man. Dan Cole.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Good job,
Hey,
everybody.
Ellie, put another one in.
Oh.
There you go.
That was awesome. Woo, that was great TV. Do we have another timeout, or are we just going to say thank you? It's time for us to say thank you.
That's it.
We
We're
got to say
done.
thank you to Inkster. We got to say thank you to the CW. We got to say thank you to Fulton Brewing. We got to say thank you to Common Man Dan Cole for coming in here tonight. The debate. Go on Twitter.